Happy Stuff Your Face Day. You know, the holiday we call Happy Thanksgiving. So I say this with so much love because so many of us are walking into this day wanting to feel gratitude, but the day revolves around eating. And for those of us who have struggled or do struggle with their food and finding peace with food, this day can feel like a nightmare. It can feel like, okay, I'm thinking about the food, I'm obsessing about the food, I'm overeating the food, and by the end of the night, you're not feeling comfortable in your body. So this video is for you if you want Thanksgiving to feel more like gratitude and less about the food. So let's look at how you can move through Thanksgiving in a way that feels aligned with you and with what you actually want. For those who don't know, my name is Marla Mervis-Hartmann. I'm the author of Befriend Yourself and the creator of Love Your Body, Love Yourself. So let's get started. I have had so many different experiences on Thanksgiving in my recovery. Some of those look like eating so much and then purging, or eating so much and then the next day exercising, dieting, restricting, not eating, not nourishing myself. I've had the Thanksgivings where I didn't want to go and do anything. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to go to Thanksgiving because the food felt way too much for me. Or I would be at a holiday dinner and I was just walking on eggshells, afraid and in fear and worried that I was going to overeat or worried that I was going to purge because I overate. So there was no peace in those experiences. And let's face it, Thanksgiving dinner is heavy. It's stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey. This is the traditional, right? And it sticks to your bone. So it is a filling, heavy meal to begin with. And for some, that can feel really uncomfortable. So I invite you to slow down here for a moment, and I want you to look at your experiences over the years, and I want you to think about what didn't work for you. What were the things that happened on Thanksgiving that you're saying to yourself, I don't want that again. I don't want to leave that experience with people, and all I'm thinking about is the fact that I overate. That's something to look at. Or something more practical, like, oh, I don't want to not eat all day and then go there famished and then completely overeat. So I want you to begin to look at what your patterns are, how you're taking care of yourself before you get to your Thanksgiving dinner, what your mindset is. Where is your mind around this meal? What are you concerned about? What are you worried about the food? And then also, how are you taking care of yourself? Where is self-care in this whole piece? And I also want us to look at and break it down very clearly that this day is about gratitude. It is about being thankful. So often when we struggle with food and a day is full of food, we can focus on how to fix the food and fix how we ate. And we do want to do that. And we're going to talk more about that. And we also want to take our attention off the food and put it in a place that lights us up. And Thanksgiving taps us in to the most powerful emotion, appreciation and gratitude and joy. I mean, this is like we're being set up. We're given, like we're in the name of Thanksgiving, we are given the tool, the freedom to find another way, which is being in appreciation. So I would invite you the days leading up, or today, the day before, or the day of, to get into the space of, what am I grateful for in my life? I don't mean I want you to really do this. Like sit with a journal or sit and contemplate and let yourself get into the excitement and the flow. Now, I know so many people are going through so much, and there are things to be grateful for. There are things to be thankful for. And some of those things are the things that we take for granted. The fact that I have running water, the fact that I saw a rainbow on my way to work today. Those are all things, like the small little things that we can use to tune into the feeling of appreciation and gratitude. When you show up on Thanksgiving dinner full already of appreciation and thankfulness, oh my gosh, you are primed. You are in the prime state to have an easier time with your food and an easier time with the people around you, who, let's face it, may be a little bit challenging, right? So I want you to tune into that as the biggest tool that you can tap into that's going to support you in your relationship with food at this meal. Okay, let me give you some tools for this day. Some practical tools that you can use. Well, first off, I want you to realize this is one meal. Sometimes we can get so overwhelmed, and then we want to look at, okay, this is one meal in our whole year or our whole life. And you don't have to get it right. You will have the next meal and then the next meal and the next meal and the next meal that you get to play with, and you get to find more freedom and more peace in your body. Okay, so I just want to set that up. Okay, so we have established that we're getting ourselves into the state of appreciation. And it's not something we can force. Gratitude is not something that we can force, but we can conjure up that feeling. We can think about the people that we love. We can think about our life. We can think about, as I said, the things that we may take for granted. And we begin to not just think about it, but flood our body with the sensation and the experience of appreciation. Now, I want you to set your intention for this day. I want it to be realistic. You can't set a successful intention if it's not realistic. I want to go in. I don't want to be full at all. I'm not going to eat any pumpkin pie, right? Especially if it's something that pumpkin pie is like your favorite thing in the world, and the person who makes the best pumpkin pie is there. Like, is that realistic? Is that really setting you up? What we want is you to feel confident. We want you to have the feeling of peace around food. So I want you to think about this day, and I want you to give yourself some small doable increments. And I want you to give yourself some boundaries around food. If this feels good, this may not be. We'll talk about boundaries and we'll talk about something else. Give yourself some boundaries around food, but these can be very loose boundaries, because the experience of boundaries gives us this feeling of being in our body and in control. And that control feeling, I don't mean control that's the negative part of control. I'm talking about the control that we have, self-control, that God-given fruit of the spirit of self-control, where we are aware of our body, where we are leading. We're literally the leader of our experience. So we can do that by saying, okay, I get to have 2 full plates and nothing else. I get to have a plate and then I'm going to go back for seconds. Something like that. I don't know. This is for you to decide. I'm just throwing out ideas here. And there's also the way to think about it. Okay, this is too much for me right now. Maybe I can take a little bit of that to go. Maybe I can have some of that tomorrow. There are leftovers, right? So those are the things we can think about in our mind to have us realize that this is just one meal and I will be fed again. So the small doable increments is what creates confidence in ourselves. It creates confidence, which leads to peace, which leads to freedom. We also want to slow down what you're eating and actually enjoy it. Take a bite. Push it away, enjoy it, savor, taste, smell. When we get ourselves in a state of pleasure, we become satiated and we ground inside of ourselves. And we also want to make sure that we're breathing, that we're taking some breath. And one of the things that I've played with is keeping my eyes up and in connection with other people, keeping my heart connected to other people. Now, at the end of the day or the day after, I want you to strongly consider, no matter how this day went, putting a stick in the ground and saying, I am not going to have any shame around what I ate and how I did this day. No shame. I want you to stay away from the feeling of shame. Sure, you can maybe you have guilt, maybe shame shows up, but don't involve yourself in it. Don't start making decisions about what you need to do with your body today and your food today from the feeling of shame. If you're in shame, I invite you to feel it and I invite you to move through it. It's not going to set you up in the way that you think It would. What we want to do is we want to look at what worked during that Thanksgiving. We want to look at what didn't, what you would want to do a little differently, how self-care could show up for you during the day, in that moment, and afterwards. So in the aftermath of Thanksgiving, we want to begin to listen to our body and tune in from the place of being my own best friend with my body and saying, what does it need today? What does it need? Oh, it needs some rest. Oh, it needs some extra water. Oh, you know what? I'm not that hungry today. Oh, I need to move my body. Oh, I need to not be around anyone because I had a full day of a lot of social connection. So from the place of being our own best friend, we ask, what does my body need? Because if you're coming off of a big binge experience, we want to listen to our body, but not from shame. Okay, so I feel like we're just touching into the experience of Thanksgiving. We're touching into the experience of the holidays and food experience. And I have so much more to share with you. And I created a masterclass, a workshop called Nourished Holidays, how to stop overeating over the holiday without willpower and restricting. I would love for you to come. It's free. You can come. You're going to get coaching. We're going to go deeper into all the things that I'm sharing with you here. And you're going to get some live coaching with me, a live Q&A, and I'm going to be able to support you in the moment to talk about what are the specific things that throw you off around food, around Thanksgiving or your holidays, or that family dinner that you don't want to go to but you have to, that you find yourself like head down in the mashed potatoes. So these are the things that we're going to dive into. So I'm going to put the link below for you to check that out. And I'm wishing you the most amazing Thanksgiving. I'm wishing you peace no matter what on this Thanksgiving Day. Thank you for being here and for showing up. Happy Thanksgiving.